Get some more light in here, man. This is bullshit.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome back in League of Inches. And I'll tell you what, each week this game just keeps on giving and things to talk about. Interesting weeks and certain teams with good performances, some others. First of all, I want to start off by a massive thank you to everyone. 2,500 likes on Facebook throughout the week, which was a massive milestone to reach for us. So thanks to everyone for the support. And Insta kicked over 500. So we're making some traction, getting a lot more people talking and commenting and liking, which is great. So keep it up, guys. And we can only do what we can do with all the interaction. So thanks heaps. Weapon of the week, we've got two this week. First of all, I'll go with an off-field one, which was Damien Cook's class act, which everyone on the page can see. And just the fact that he was able to go up to the fan, and obviously they've had some hard times in the club. Damien Cook actually seen that, went up to him, gave their jersey, and it was massive. Now there's an off-field one, and for once I'm going to let Jason take the reins on this one. It's caused some divide in the ranks here, but who's the on-field weapon of the week, Jace?
For me, it's Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Just the heart that this kid plays with day in, day out. You know, just whether his team's down by 5 or, you know, up by 5, it doesn't really matter. He's giving it his all. And that last-ditch effort in the corner to save the game, you can't go past that. I know Kickout had a pretty good try-saver too, but that was a bit of a team effort. I think, that on-field one definitely for me goes to Tuivasa-Sheck.
And what's your reply, Josh? I know you've been waiting for this.
Josh, hit us with your reply, please.
I agree.
He's changed his ways.
No, you don't.
Okay, listen, I think Canberra showed a lot of heart, man. Playing with 14 men for like 60 minutes of the game. Yes, Tuivasa-Sheck did what he did. Yeah, okay. But that's his job. Curtis Scott played with a fractured rib. You know what I mean? I reckon he deserves a bit of credit for what he did. So that's what the divide was there for me.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think
it wasn't.
You know what? Let's agree on something.
What you said to me on the phone call that you called me immediately after. You liar.
We'll agree on one thing. We'll say the weapon of the week can be the try savers. So Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and Kickout, both players were massive for mine. So let's quickly go into. We've got 2 fan questions come through. One, first of all, is to the one and only original Sid. A fan's actually asked, "Do you have a home? Because you're always in your car." They're just a bit worried about
you. That's a very valid question.
Well, you got something for the fans?
I've never seen the inside of his house. Have you guys?
Neither.
That is his house, mate.
No, we do, but it's a small place with 2 bedrooms, and by the time we do this thing, you bloody nocturnals you. The kids are asleep and there's nowhere else. So I do it in the car, you know, for a bit of privacy. That's how poor people start. You know, Bill Gates started in his garage, all right? Just saying, man.
Oh, look, we might have to do a League of Inches cribs soon, and we'll actually go for a bit of a tour of Sid's houses for the fans. Obviously, they're really interested in where you're living at the moment. The second, we've got one more. Josh, a question's coming for you. One of the fans have asked, how much did NASA pay you for your trips to the moon?
They don't pay me anything, mate, for free.
Free.
It's all for the League of Inches, this.
For the doggies boys.
He's actually posted up there.
For the doggies boys, there's actually a serious question comes through. It's about, what do you both think of the club at the moment and where things are at? The fan reckons, is it possible that they've actually gotten worse?
Well, let me,
Yeah, you go first, Josh.
100%, man. 100% we've gone worse. You look at the performance at the back end of last season, at least we showed a bit of character. We showed a bit of heart. The start of this year, I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm so sad. I'm so upset about it, eh? It's starting to hurt now. Like, it really is. It's starting to hurt.
Yeah, I can back that up as well, because in our chat, Josh was almost like someone had passed away in the family the other night of the game, and he's actually taken this to no joking about it. Yeah, he's actually a passionate fan, and he's not really liking what's happening at the moment. Jace, what's your take?
Yeah, I'm the same as well, mate. I'm at the point where I have no words, no answers. Like, even in our group chat when I wrote, like, I've never in my life did I think that I'd ever see the Dogs in this bad a shape. But I just, what do you do? Where do you go? Like, they said they had some answers this year and nothing's happening.
Yeah, I think it's valid for a talking point. Next week we'll see what happens this week. Look, there's been a bit of talk this week, and surely there's some changes now, and the players can't be happy with what they've done. They've got a hard game coming up, obviously, with South Sydney on Friday. But if this gets any worse, we'll have a big, deep talking point into the Dogs and what's happening there, because we all said at the start of the year, it was actually pretty exciting times now for the Dogs, new coach, some new exciting players in the team and to come. But it just seems like, yeah, as you guys have said, and you guys are the fans, it doesn't seem like that's actually come across and actually happened. So whatever, we'll get into the first tackle, and Sid, across to you for this one. The Origin eligibility debate. We seem to always talk about this in the lead up to Origin. I'm not sure why we do. Should players like Jason Tamalolo be allowed to play Origin?
Look, well, I love Tamalolo as a player. Quality player. But I just, nothing personal, but I just don't like it. I'll keep it short for you. I feel like if we start doing that, it's gonna turn into Super Rugby. Just anyone can play whenever they feel like, whatever they feel like. I like the fact that right now, if you really want to play and you come from a different country or one, Pacific Islands or whatever, there's some criteria to it. So if the bloke is fair income, he'll abide to that. Right now, it's just, I don't like it. Like I said, it's just going to turn into Super Rugby where anyone can just play anywhere.
Yeah, Dane, what are your thoughts on this matter?
Yeah, look, I agree with Sid. I think the eligibility rules should just be left alone. Leave it the way that it is, and you just got to suck it up. It's simple as that.
Well, my Origin is why it's so good is because of the fact that not everyone can play it, and there's that passion behind it. So you're born and you bleed blue, or you're a maroon, and that hatred is there now. For mine, Tamalolo's got that when it comes to Tonga versus another team, and that's what I would love to see him just keep. We've got our thing. I would love to just watch the international game grow now, and those players need to be part of that to help that international scene grow. The second tackle would be the Cowboys, and I'll move on here with. I know we started with the Dogs, and they're not going too well, but at least you guys have got this mob in the comp at the moment, because for mine they're a basket case. Peyton looks like he's aged about 50 years with his mentality at the press conferences and after games. He looks defeated already, which after 3 games is shocking. What's doing at the Cowboys, Jace?
I think a lot of the players are just they're not buying into Todd Payton's game plan and his mentality. I think that's one of the biggest things. I think that a lot of them are just playing for themselves, playing for their contracts. They're not buying into the system, and I think that's where they're falling down, really.
Josh, you agree with this one?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with Jason, man. I don't think they're on board with Payton's game plan at the moment, and that's it. That's 100% right. What he said about Tom Malolo at the start of the year, I think there's been a bit of player revolt around it, I think. So I don't think the players are happy with any of that.
Yeah, I agree. It just seems like there's there is some whispers out there at the moment. There is some players that aren't happy with Payton and not buying into what he's bringing to the club. And they've got players, some that are out of position. They're not playing their right position. They don't want to be there. Like people like Val Holmes is a shell of the player he used to be. And he's one of their key players who needs to be 100% every week. And at the moment, he's just not there. And whatever happens,
And he's got $1 million too.
what was that?
If Val Holmes, he's on $1 million too, and he's sitting on the wing. Like it's, it's not good enough.
Yeah, he should be playing fullback 100%, eh?
Yeah, he's been moved there this week, so we'll see what happens there. But they've got a lot of problems with that club at the moment, and it's just not going to revolve around one or two player changes. The whole club needs to be shaken up. But the third tackle, and at the moment, it's a big debate about the injuries. And I want to also introduce, obviously, the 18th man to this, which has just become news today. Why? I'm not too sure. I'm a bit dumbfounded as to why they've made this decision. Sid, are you a fan of this rule change?
I like the idea with the criteria. I haven't read the exact details. The criteria I wanted was if you're going to have an 18th man, he needs to be, say, an under 23s or under 21 player. I think they did that, so it has to be an emerging talent, not a veteran. That's good. I think as a general rule, I don't know if it's in place yet, but there should be a neutral doctor that makes the decision. So you've got, the club doctors of either team. The NRL should fork out and have on ground a neutral doctor that says, okay, this guy can't play. So I think that'll help with the doctoring of this and the rorting, the proposed or rorting that people are suggesting it's going to happen. But I mean, who wants to put his hand up and say, I'm going to pretend I've got a head knock and then risk being out for the next week because of, when you get a head knock, they pretty much force you to take the next week off, But yeah, I don't know if they've got a neutral doctor, but the 18th man, especially with the 2 games on the weekend, look, I don't mind it, to be honest. I know you like it, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, I just think it's a bit of a rash call, and they've rushed into this. It's been one game where there was no one left on the bench, and we haven't seen that ever really in the game. So I don't really get what the rule is in place now. If no one knows it, it's once you have 3 HIA players, it's not even injuries, it's just players, HIAs. You're then allowed to bring in this emerging talent. Now they haven't actually specified what the emerging player is, or if it's an under 23s, if it's in the top 30 squad. They haven't done any of this yet. So, Dan, you a fan of the rule, or are you on it's been a bit rush side of things as well?
Yeah, look, I think they need to make these changes pre-season. I know they're sort of making it on the go with current situations, with benches being empty and so forth. I'm kind of a fan, but kind of not. I think football's getting a little bit soft, and with all these rules. Back in the day, there was no HIA. People would play with concussions, and you just get on with it. These days, I understand they've got to be a little bit more wary of the players' welfare. So I'm kind of a fan in that sense because they use a similar thing in cricket, not for HIAs, of course. But I think the criteria behind it with using an emerging talent is, I think that's the right way to go about it. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of 50-50. I do agree with it, but I don't.
Joshua, are you 50-50 or you've got a clear-cut vision?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm 50-50, to be honest, man. I think we touched on this point at the start of the year, man. Like, the game's gotten faster here. So there is going to be injuries. So I guess the NRL will just go with the flow to see what happens, man. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens this week, I guess.
Jason, are you 50-50 as well?
I'm not 50-50. I'm more against it than anything because I think our game has now become a lot more reactive than proactive. Yes, make the changes at the start of the season. This has happened because 2 games ended up this way. But like Dane said as well, they're taking the toughness out of the game. It's footy. Injuries are going to happen. You're just going to have to cope. You're just going to have to suck it up and cope. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I think we can all sit here and agree over the last year and a bit where they sped the game up to what it is now. It's probably been overall the best quality of footy we've seen in quite some time. Look, we're still going to get our odd average games, which we did see 1 or 2 on the weekend, but we also seen a couple of really good games as well, and they're probably one of the clear standout games. So for mine, they need to be continue with this whole speed the game up. I like it. I don't think the injuries are actually increased because of it. I think there's other factors to it which we can dig into at another later date. But I just think, as you said, Jason, it's a lot of reactive and on the should have sat back for mine and seen what happened over the next few weeks and see if it continued. But for mine, it's 1 or 2 games over the last 2 years or whatever, and it's not really a good sample size to make these rules in place. Sid, we've got your topic coming up here now. Sid loves to have some bold predictions from time to time, and last year he was proud to admit that he predicted the coaches on the chopping block that actually were chopped. This year he's got some coaches in his firing line. So coaches, if you're listening, I know you're listening, so please be careful. Sid, take it away.
Yeah, so we have what we now call the pretender prediction. Coaches that I feel, just to give everyone the outline, and we've got video evidence from last year. The pretenders, the coaches, I feel they say the right thing, they do the right thing, they knock over the coaching certificates, and then they somehow land at one of 16 lucrative jobs in Australia, being an NRL coach. Last year we had Seabolt, Mr. It's All About Attitude. We had McGregor, Mr. McGood Bloke, and we had Stephen Kearney, who famously, his most famous achievement was coaching under Bellamy. I mean, that's a great achievement. Beautiful. And, nothing personal against them, but I just thought they were pretender coaches, which brings me to the point. This year, I'm starting to see two pretenders that I'm going to predict. Kevin Walters. Now, we all like him. We've seen him on Fox Sports. He's good for a laugh. He did well with Queensland. But with the talent they got at Brisbane, I'm seeing early signs that, I know it's very, very early, but my prediction is that he might be a pretender. And there's one more. Boys.
I feel you, mate. I feel you, brother.
There's one more.
You're not going to say it.
It's Trent Barrett. He's had a year at Manly, and we know he had issues. They didn't have the best facilities. Manly's like a club pulled out of the 80s, and somehow is still in the NRL in terms of their ground, their facilities, their training, their rehab clinics. I don't even think they have one. And he had a fight with the CEO when he was there because CEO had promised investments. I think they invested $500,000 at the same time. Brisbane and Penrith invested 13.5 and 14.5 million in the same year into the academy and rehab facilities and all that sort of thing, and gym as well. And so we understand that when he was at Manly, he didn't have the best circumstances and it didn't work out. He's gone to Penrith under Cleary. Somehow he was, crowned a great attacking coach, and now he's at the Dogs and they can't score. How many games? I think 2 games in a row.
2 games.
Yeah. Granted, there is an issue. There's obviously they're still rebuilding the team. I think the key thing is that they're not winning. They're not winning the ruck because they just can't. They don't have the cattle. Their best forward is Dylan Napa, and he's about 3 years past his best. Their other best forward is playing somewhere else. I think he's at Sharks, Adam Tolman. But yeah, so they got serious problems. But I still think that Barrett is a pretender.
Wow. So can we just clarify this quickly? You have both of those coaches getting the axe this year.
Boom, shakalaka. That's right.
Wow. And Peyton survives it.
Look, the thing with Peyton, and I didn't want to obviously jump in because we spent a bit of time on the Cowboys, but he has his roster is an issue. Whereas last year, we talked about how well he did with the Warriors because they have talent coming through. They have talent in the starting lineup. They have talent in reserve grade. Every young bloke is built for first grade already because they're New Zealanders and Pacific Islanders. But with the Cowboys, when you've got guys like Morgan, Again, no disrespect, nothing personal. He's way over the hill and now he's going to retire. So we predicted that 2 weeks ago that he was struggling. Justin O'Neill and Kyle Felt, in your starting lineup, they're walk-ins in the starting lineup and they're way over the hill. And then the other young guys that are up and coming aren't quite there yet. There's some promise, but there's a big gap in between. And, it's just that they don't have the squad. So Payton will get the hall pass for this year, but the other two, there's going to be big problems soon.
I love that, the hall pass. Well, Sid, give him the cooling down towel because he's just fired up for the last 5 minutes. Great viewing. Dane,
Half an hour.
Can we put a?
Do you agree with that? Do you think Walters
on Sid's?
Dane, do
Sorry,
you
go,
agree?
Jason.
Who's going? Go, Jace.
No, Dane. I was just saying, can we put a shot clock on Sid when he has his segments?
Yeah, I think
Like they
we
do
will.
on NRL 360.
Yeah, we'll have a boardroom meeting about this. And I think we're going to, in the corner, just start having a clock. And he's finally cooling down a bit. Have yourself another tinny, brother. Maybe relax a little bit. But Dane, do you agree? Are they the two pretender coaches this year? And do you want to add anyone else?
Yeah, look, I think Kevin Walters, definitely a pretender. I think Barrett, I don't know. I think players can play for him. I think, they're a basket case at the moment, unfortunately. And I like the Bulldogs. They're my second team. The one that I think is going to go at the end of this season is John Morris. I think he's got a lot of pressure on him, and I don't think he's managed that club and that team very well. So for mine, it's John Morris, but I don't think Kevin Walters I don't think he'll be around long term. I think he's a pretender. So I agree with Sid on that.
Joshy boy, you agreeing with the two, or you want to add someone else? We may as well just keep firing up here.
No, I agree with Kevin Walters, but I think Trent Barrett will get the hall pass as well, man. Because next year he's got all his players coming. Everyone he wanted for next year is going to be there next year. So next year is going to be his year. If he does good, he's going to stay. If he does bad, he'll get the sack.
Yeah.
Do you think Morris is under fire? Do you reckon he'll go this year?
No, I don't think so. I reckon he's sweet, man.
Jace, do you want to add anyone else to the pit of fire?
Mate, to be honest with you, I think the one coach that I think I do agree with Kevin Walters. I think the other coach would be Madge Maguire. I think he's under a bit of pressure too. He's been at the club for a while now, and they've missed out on finals consistently, and this year haven't got off to a crash hot start either.
Yeah, I reckon I'll agree with that one, just in terms of the fact that I know they had a tough run at the start. They had some really good teams to verse the first 2 weeks, but the performances just weren't good enough for them. And he raves on about having Maguire-type players, and he's had that now. He's been able to build that roster now for a few years, so it's a really big year for them. And I feel like if they don't make the 8, he'll probably get the sack for mine because he's had too long. But let's move on from that. I think Sid's taken enough time for our 4th tackle. We're going to go up to the 5th and last and hopefully put the Hail Mary up. It's a topic that has been raised in the past, but it's sort of flared itself back up, I noticed this week. Now, in the lead up to, we'll go back to the Thursday game, and it was the Storm versus the Panthers game, and Storm scored in the corner. Fair enough, all good try. But in the lead up to that, but the play before, there was a knock on that anyone could clearly see. Blind Freddie could see that it was a knock on, yet the Storm kept the ball and was able to play on, roll the ball, and off they go. Now, if we can see it, the bunker can see it. Now, it wasn't taking any time off the clock because the clock at the time was stopped for the ball to get taken back to the tender to play the ball. Why can't we at the moment, with the technology we have available, go in the ref's ear and go, look, mate, let you know that this is what's actually happened. Give Penrith the scrum or the ball and off you go, because literally the play later, the Melbourne Storm have scored, and it was almost the match-winning try if Capewell didn't score in the last few minutes. Jason, what are you thinking about this rule? Is it something that we should be able to just bring into the game?
Well, it was. I thought they were doing that like at the start of the year. There was a few times where they did that at the start of the year, and all of a sudden it stopped. Like maybe they've been spoken to by the referee's boss saying, "Look, we just leave it to the on-field referee unless they refer it to you," type thing. But I don't understand why they can't do it. To be honest with you, like you said, we have the technology. Use it. If they want to try and bring in other technology as well with other stuff, just use what you got.
Yeah, it doesn't make too much sense because we're sitting here watching it and the game has stopped for whatever reason. You can clearly see that in this case it was a knock on one. He was trying to get the ball to the try line. Dane, is this something that you think we should be able to just as a game continue to adapt to and make the changes?
I definitely think that they should be able to rule from the video ref, from the bunker. You look at the old days, and it was just the on-field refs' discretion. Whatever they see, that's what they blow. If we've got this technology, they should use it. It's simple as that. Otherwise, you're wasting all this money. You've got people there looking at all this stuff, and if they can't overrule it, and the other thing too is if you look at it from a fan's point of view, if you're a fan and your team gets robbed, or it's a turning point in a match, fans aren't going to be happy. They'll stop watching football. Or if you got the technology, use it. Yeah, it really sort of bugs me.
I agree with it. And it's not like we're asking the game to stop. The game's already stopped for whatever reason. And this is in general playing that as well, where if we can clearly see that it's the wrong call, I don't know why we're not getting the rest of you to change it. Sid, do you have any wise words to say? We'll put the shot clock on you here, so you got 30 seconds.
No, look, I agree with
everything. Thanks, Sid. Yeah, thanks, mate.
Yeah, everything you guys said.
Let's move on.
I was about to wrap your Dane, but I'll just leave it. Instead, you can stay in San Francisco. All right. But no, I agree with everything you guys said, and like you said, you're spot on. Like you said, is if that was a turning point they won in the game, there'd be a massive outrage, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not like they missed it and then they saw it on the Monday when they were checking the videos. They saw it at the moment.
Yeah.
Imagine a grand final being decided by that.
Oh,
exactly.
Or a state of origin decided. Fans would be spewing.
Yeah, and it wasn't like it was a small thing. It was a pretty obvious, blatant knock-on. I remember saying it in the group chat, and we all just went, I don't know how they missed it. But, yeah, we've got a few minutes left on the video, so let's quickly go through our tips. Last week was a bit of a tough one for some, and some of us had an okay week with a few close games. But this week we've got some easier games to pick, so I think this will be pretty easy and quick. Manly Penrith, Thursday night. Jason.
Penrith by 20.
Oh, Josh.
The Penny Panthers, 13 plus.
13 plus. Dane.
Panthers by 18.
Oh, 18. Sid.
Panthers by 30 plus.
30 plus. I'm gonna go Penrith by 20. Maybe Brookie and then Manly might find something, I don't know, but they'll still get walloped. The next game is the Good Friday tradition. It's the Dogs versus South Sydney. Sid, I'll go to you first.
Oh, what, you want to tip?
That's what
South
we're here
by
for.
20.
South by 20, was it?
Yeah.
All right, Dane.
Yeah, I'm going to go South 20 plus.
Oh, Mr. Moon. Josh.
We'll go South, but Dogs to score a try.
That's the Belmore will be going off after that. The drums will be beating. Jason.
Look, my heart says the Dogs, so I'm just going to go with my heart, and I'm going to say Dogs to win in Golden Point.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is why Jason hasn't had the best start to tipping this year. If you're in our tipping comp, you're at the bottom. I'm going to
I might be smoking something with that prediction.
I'm going to go South by 18. Storm versus Broncos. Now, this game at the moment is staying in Melbourne for the latest COVID crap, but there's still yet to be updates that might change to Sydney, but at this stage it's Melbourne. Jason?
I'm gonna go with. I think I'll go with Storm.
Don't think on that one, Josh.
Storm by 6.
Yeah, Storm will take this easy. 13 plus.
By 6. Hang on a second, Jace. You're predicting a close game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, Payne Haas is back. So
It's just one of those feelings, mate.
yeah, well, Payne
That's
Haas
why
is
he's at the
back.
bottom. Remember that.
Yeah. Well, don't listen too much, Pete. When he's on, just maybe mute him. Dane?
Yeah, Storm by 10.
Oh, Sid?
Yeah, I was going to say Storm by 10 as well.
I don't know what people are on here. I reckon this will be the biggest shellacking of the week. Storm have come off 2 losses where would be furious at the moment. They should have won at least one of those games. I think they're going to put Broncos back down to earth and beat them by 30. I think they're going to absolutely pump them down in Melbourne. Pappy will score probably 3, so get him in your super coaches if you don't have him already. There's my hot tip. Sharks and Cowboys. This is actually Sunny Coast Stadium, so this isn't even in down near Wollongong or wherever they play now. So, Sid?
Well, that's a tough one. Yeah, no, Sharks are too strong. Too strong for 10-point better team at least.
Yeah, Dane?
Sharks by 6.
Yeah, Joshy boy?
Yeah, we'll go Sharks 1-12 here.
Yeah, Jace?
I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep going against the grain. Go Cowboys by 10.
I love how you are going. It's only round 4. You got time to make it up. And I love how Josh comes at it for a betting
I'm very
point of view.
optimistic.
I'm surprised
He's
Josh
going
all
doesn't
about
give
the
us,
money.
upsets.
I'm surprised Josh doesn't give us the actual odds for whatever he's betting on each game. So Titans Raiders. Now this one's actually I'm going Sharkies. But Titans Raiders. This game's just been moved to Sydney, I believe. So the home ground advantage I thought would have been massive for the Titans. For mine, that moves it back to the Raiders' favour, and I think they'll be a bit too classy for a building Titans team. Jason?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Raiders by 12.
Yeah. Josh?
Yeah, I'll go Raiders 13 plus here.
Oh, that's about $4.10 at Sportsbet. Dane?
I'll take that.
Raiders by 12. And I'm going to chuck $5 on a multi into Jason ironing his shirt. Sorry, Jason.
Sid?
It's all right, mate.
I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, but I reckon Raiders will edge them maybe 2 points, 4 points,
Yeah.
something like that.
I think this will be the match of the round. So, Knights and Dragons. Go to Sid first. Put your Red V party hat back on.
Yeah, well, we've got no Ben Hunt. We've got no Jack Bird because he sneezed on someone, and that's like 1 week suspension these days. So bloody soft, anyways. Look, I think honestly, I think we can knock them over. I reckon we'll beat them probably by about 6 to 8 points. Say 8 points.
All right, Dane.
Dragons by 6.
Josh.
Well, we'll go the Knights here 1-12.
Ooh, Jace.
Yeah, I'm the same as well. Knights by 12.
Yeah, I'm going to go Knights. Knights by 7 for mine. I think Knights will be a little bit too good. Dragons have versed some pretty easy teams last few weeks. If they didn't verse them, there was massive trouble.
I'll eat their own words, Sid. Don't you worry.
Thanks, mate.
Roosters v Warriors in the second last game. Jace?
gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go Warriors.
Oh, yeah, a little
Warriors
bit of an
by
upset.
4.
Understrength Roosters side. Josh?
Under strength, but still good. So I'm going to go Roosters.
Yeah, we don't have much left on this show. We're just under 2 minutes, but Dane wasn't too happy after the Roosters' last performance. I'll tell everyone that he was actually pretty annoyed. He wasn't worried about the injuries. He just thought they started and was just out of the game from the start. So Dane, do you bounce back this week?
I no longer support the Roosters. I now go for the Eels, the Parramatta Seals. So yeah, look, I'm not loyal at all. No, very disappointing. But look, I'm actually tipping that the Warriors are going to win by 10.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Warriors by 7.
goodness me, there's a big call. I didn't think it was that bad this week, but I'm going to go Roosters. A little bit. I think Walker will prove to be a good player, and they've still got Teddy. You can't go against Teddy. He'll score 3 tries this week as well. Last game, we'll have a quick one here. Sid, Tigers, Eels.
Tigers, Eels, Eels too strong.
Dane,
10 points minimum.
Eels by 14.
Joshy,
Eels, yeah. Eels 13 plus.
Jace.
Eels by a country mile.
Yeah,
They're just going to rack up a score on this.
I'll go the blue and gold as well. That's it, boys and girls and fans. Thanks once again for all the support. We love it, and just keep going, keep sharing the
And
page
let's do
and
the
the
Dogs
post.
game again.
What?
Joel, let's do the Dogs game again. That was hilarious.
we'll head on that
Can you
note.
cut him off? Can you cut his mic off?
Up the doggies, and see you guys. Enjoy the footy this week.